You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. We are so happy to have you here. You are watching the introduction to the Talking Heads platform as we round out a better you, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and this has been quite a journey. And if you weren't with us yesterday, we actually celebrate our 100th episode of A Better You, which we started just this February. I am so proud of our team, and I'd love if you went over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, playlist A Better You, and you watched the episode from yesterday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. British Summer Time, as well as all the other shows. But I thanked everyone on our team, and we're just so excited because we have been able to bring people from across the world to present lessons to help make us better personally and professionally. And as we keep A Better You open, the platform open until September 14th, we are still moving forward with our transition to Talking Heads, which officially launches on September the 16th. If you're interested in being on the Talking Heads platform, please do reach out to me. You can contact me at info@usaglobaltv.com, and either myself or someone on our team will contact you and give you an opportunity to meet with us for 15 minutes where we give you an overview about the Talking Heads platform and why you should consider joining us, our membership. We are very selective. We want people who really do care about other people in the world and helping and giving back, and who are also experts in their field and recognized leaders. So again, if you would like to join us for Talking Heads, we'd love to have you. So for today, we will have two of our team members from A Better You presenting their lessons as we round out the A Better You chapter. Joining me today are Jacalyn Daly and Diann Floyd Boehm. Welcome, ladies. Nice to see you.
It's great to be here.
Great to be here, too.
It's lovely that you're both in red, some shade of red, and you have three names. So, it's fantastic. So I don't know if you heard what I said backstage, but yesterday we celebrated our 100th episode of A Better You, and I want to thank both of you for your contributions. You've been involved for different amounts of time. Diane's been here since the beginning, and Jean, you joined us recently, but I think you've given us 3 presentations so far. So and they've all been four. This is the 5th?
Yes.
Love it. Love it. See, they keep coming back. They love being here and presenting their lessons. So we are continuing with A Better You in terms of the presentations that have been scheduled up until September the 14th. And we've officially launched Talking Heads to the public. And that platform will open on September 16th for people to be able to join us there. So again, do reach out to me. I will run the banner again. And that is info@usaglobaltv.com. All right, enough of that. So, ladies, I'm very excited that you're here today. You both have wonderful presence, and you have these gifts, these tools that you use to help other people all the time, and that's really at the core of who you are. So, Jean, I'm going to start with you. I'd love to spotlight you and have you share a little bit about what you're doing. You are a holistic registered nurse, counselor, educator, therapist, author of Reflections of a Seasoned Soul, Reiki Healing Master, and Certified Imago Relationship Therapist. All right. That's quite a lot. Congratulations. Thank you. Seriously. So just share a little bit with us about what you'll be presenting today and who you think the target audience is for your message.
Well, what I'll be presenting today is kind of piggybacking on what I started last Friday on this show. And today's topic is what to do when you're upset. And I think it can relate to everyone who's listening. No matter what your age is, no matter what relationship you're in, particularly relationship with yourself, which some people don't really think too much about. But anyway, we are in a relationship with ourselves. We are in a relationship with others, maybe a spouse, children, grandchildren, neighbors, friends, community. So there's always going to be times in our life that we feel upset. And upset is a general word, which I would like to take apart a little bit and say what I believe can help you, what I've learned can help you to mitigate that feeling of being upset.
Thank you very much. That's beautiful. Okay, Diann Floyd Boehm, international award-winning children's book author and illustrator, teacher, pageant winner, connector, networking queen. If you don't know this, Diann knows everyone from around the world. She has traveled the world with her husband, and she just knows people in all kinds of interesting aspects of life, and she has no problem connecting people. It's never a problem. There's never a no from Diann. It's always, what else can I do? What else can I do? I have a suggestion for you. So Diann, you know I love you. I'm going to spotlight you. I'm looking for your banner. Tell us a little bit about your lesson and who the target audience is for you today.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. So my target audience is anyone who wants to be an author. And look, we all have a story inside of us. And so if you have a passion and a desire to get a story out, this is a great way to begin. Today is all about the author hooks and tips. So that's what I'll be sharing. I'm very excited to share my thoughts with y'all.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we all like hooks, don't we? Like little things to get us in there and get us going. So wonderful. Diann and Jean, I don't know if I asked you, who wants to go first?
Jean, you can go for it.
Okay.
How about that?
Jean's like, oh, Diann, I want you to go first. Okay. So here's what we're. Oh, sorry.
Listen to Diann, because when I write my second book, I'll be sure to utilize all the tips you're going to give us today.
Okay.
Wish I had known.
Very nice. Book. Well, we all meet in the time that we meet in for a reason, right? It's amazing. In fact, Jean and I were talking backstage before we came on, and she just actually helped me make a decision about something that I was really on the fence about. And I feel like, you guys are here today for a certain reason. I feel that way every time we're on this stage, that it's fortuitous that people sign up when they do, or maybe somebody canceled and somebody else steps in. And it's just, we had that yesterday with Red O'Laughlin on our team and Krista Karpowicz. He was talking about how important it is to do the research for longevity, for taking care of yourself. And she's all about canine longevity and how to take care of your dogs and how to feed them properly, like not feeding them kibble because it causes cancer. So anyway, it was fortuitous because somebody else was supposed to be on the stage, and it doesn't matter. So anyway, enough being said, we're going to take a break and we're going to hear from the lovely Diann Floyd Boehm, and then we'll be back, and Jean, who is now volunteering, will be going first. I love it. Okay. Be right back. Stay with us.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diann Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diann Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diann's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's little girl in the moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, Its powerful theme that we're each of us different, yet all of us the same, plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at DiannFloydBoehm.com. Visit DiannFloydBoehm.com. That's DiannFloydBoehm.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. This is Talking Heads Segue a Better You as we say goodbye to one and hello to another. So Jean, you are up, and just to let you ladies know, we have another show coming right after this, so we have to stick to the 15 minutes. So I will be putting the timer up, not to punish anyone, but we'll be running into the pet psychic, and then I'm not sure what we could expect with all of us there. So anyway, Jean, you are spotlighted and have a great presentation.
Thank you. And thank you, Diane, for sharing your books. They look wonderful, wonderful. So today I'm talking about what to do when you're feeling upset. So last week when I was on the show, one of the things that I talked about was how when you are in a struggle in some kind of a relationship, to ask yourself, what am I feeling? Now, there are really 5 basic feelings, but I want to show you a piece of paper that I've gotten from some of the training I was in. This is a list of all the feelings, both what we would call negative and positive, that people can have. So you can see there's a whole lot of feelings. But generally, the feelings that we have are anger, frustration, fear, worry, anxiety. They're all together. The anger, frustration is one, and then fear, worry, and anxiety is another. And then hurt and sadness go together. So that's 3. And then guilt and shame. And I'll tell you the difference between guilt and shame. That's the 4th category of feelings. And then loneliness is the 5th category. And anything other than those feelings, for example, resentment is under anger, frustration, and so is hurt. So there are a lot of feelings that people have, and what can you do about them? Most people say, well, I'm upset, but they don't necessarily know what they're feeling actually. They could have all the feelings together. So what do you do about them? Well, first of all, you want to understand what feelings mean. So I'm going to tell you, actually, this is something that I've learned along the way in all of my classes and therapy groups and all the things that I've done over the past 50 years. Anger and frustration, that particularly means that we have had important rules in our lives that have been violated, either by ourselves, and angry at ourselves, or by someone else. So we're not even aware of these rules a lot of the times. But a rule might be that when this person says, I'm going to call you, that they call that night. I remember I had that rule as a teenager. I had a boyfriend, one boyfriend, well, actually 2 boyfriends in high school. And at the end of school, this one boyfriend said to me, so I'll call you later. Well, later to me meant that night. We had one phone in the house. Excuse me, it was a party line. And I hung by the phone and he didn't call. So I was frustrated about that because my rule was if he said he was going to call, that meant tonight. Now that was an unreasonable rule, but as a teenager, I didn't realize that. So the lesson to learn is that sometimes our rules are too rigid. Or our anger, frustration can come from our own hurt and sadness, or the other feelings of fear, worry, anxiety. So we have to look at those rules. What are the rules that you have, especially on yourself and on others? I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I've realized that over the last many years that I've been in therapy and studying and training and all of that. So, some of my own rules that hurt myself, I'm taking apart and really looking at what do they mean for me. Fear, worry, anxiety means that we are feeling unprepared for some situation, either now or in the future. So that's we worry about something, and it's really wasted energy because it takes you out of the now and puts you into the future when you don't really know what's going to happen. And I'll talk about that in another lesson, what to do about worry. There's a lot you can do about worry. Hurt sadness means we are either expecting something to happen and it didn't happen, or we're not expecting something to happen and it did. So we have expectations that are either too high or too low, and we need to understand that expectations on ourselves can change for many reasons, and expectations on others sometimes is really unfair because sometimes we have expectations on someone else and they don't even know what the expectation is. So the lesson to learn from that hurt and sadness is whether or not you are specifically expecting something at a healthy level for that situation. And then guilt, shame. Guilt and shame means we're not living up to our, well, let me say, guilt means we're not living up to our own standards. And then shame is when we're not living up to someone else's standards, which we may not even know that they have. So there's, in our society, we're really not taught how to manage our feelings very well. And so we grow up with certain expectations, we grow up with certain beliefs, we grow up with certain conditionings from everywhere: parents, family, society, religions, news reports, friendships maybe that have gone awry, people telling us things that we might not have believed in at first, and then they convince us of it. So there's a lot going on that we are unconsciously feeling and not even understanding why. So the lesson to learn from guilt and or shame is whether or not you have healthy and accurate standards of how you live your daily life. And that is oftentimes, difficult to know. But we can know that. We can look at ourselves. And I'm very much a great believer in journaling. So journaling is different than a diary. Journaling is writing out what you're feeling without caring about punctuation or grammar or anything like that, just writing out your feelings. And then we get to loneliness. Loneliness means we're feeling disconnected from someone or something that was meaningful to us, and or we are not contributing to someone or something in a healthy and meaningful way, or that we are disconnected from ourselves, especially from our own spiritual self, which I talked a little bit about last week. I'm going to sneeze here for a minute. Oh, excuse me, that was a little long time coming. It's allergy season. So we have a lot of feelings, and what can we do about those is first try to define what it is you're feeling. And then when you decide what it is you're feeling, understand which person you are. Are you a person that constricts energy and you say, well, I might be feeling this, but I'm not going to let anybody know. I'm just going to hold it all in. That's really not healthy. Or you could be a person that explodes your feelings and just gets very angry or very, hurt, frustrated, and you spill it all out. But you spill it out perhaps at a time that's really unfortunate for the people around you because they might not even be part of it. And if they're part of the reason that you're feeling this upsetness, whatever feeling it is, they really don't always deserve the expression, the explosion, they don't ever deserve that explosion right there in the moment, even though you might feel like it. So what I used to do when I was learning how to get in touch with all my feelings is I would, if I was really upset, angry, let's say angry or frustrated about something, one thing that I did and taught a lot of my clients to do is to physically get it out. So I would put my face in a pillow and just scream into the pillow so nobody else would hear me. And that would get the energy, since everything is energy, including feelings and thoughts. Everything is energy. You get that energy out before it harms you or harms someone else. Another thing, I had a client one time who just banged on her piano so hard that she had to have it tuned up, but she got all this out. And I had another a gentleman who was so upset and angry most of the time at his wife. He used to go out. They lived on a big piece of property, and he used to go out and just chop wood, whether he needed it or not. He would just chop wood, and that would get it out of his system. Another thing is just get a wiffle bat and not to hit anybody with it, but to just pick a corner of your bed or your chair and just with, just pounding out what you're feeling, or having a good old fashioned temper tantrum like a 2-year-old would have. So you get that energy out, and that settles you enough to be able to be more open-minded about what this is about. What are you actually feeling? And what can you do about it? So if you are feeling very angry and frustrated, what are the rules that you feel you've broken or someone else has broken and they may not even know that you have? Then there is a little exercise that you can do that really takes a lot of courage to do this, because it's about you. What am I willing to learn from this experience? So there's always, always opportunity to learn something about yourself, something about the other person, and what is it that's really upsetting me about this? What does it mean? What else could it mean? So instead of just saying, well, it means that he doesn't like me, or it means that she never cares about me. How do you know that to be true? You don't really know that to be true. So recall when I said that the opposite of love is not hatred. The opposite of love is indifference. So if somebody is totally indifferent to you, then not only might they not care about you, but they don't really care about themselves, because they're not in touch with their own feelings, their own spirit, their own heart, their own mind. Another thing to do is say, could this be a misperception or a misunderstanding on my part? Could it be a misunderstanding on the other person's part? If so, can I make a time and a space to explain to them? If you can't do that in person, then maybe you can write them a letter, write them a note. It doesn't mean that they're going to respond to you, but that's not your situation. Your situation is to make peace with yourself and to get in touch with how you feel so that you can calm that feeling, you can transform that feeling from being upset in any of these various ways into being calm, more rational. Remember when I taught you a couple of times ago, you put your one hand, doesn't matter which hand, one hand on the base of your skull, your other hand on the front of your forehead, and you just breathe. You can still be thinking about how you feel that's upsetting to you, but you just keep breathing. And what happens is that the energy that's causing that fear or fear, flight, I want to just ignore this, I want to just run away from this, I want to fight this, that energy from the brainstem calms down. And this energy that you're putting into the frontal cortex of your brain helps you to figure out how you can manage this. So also, do you have all the information about this situation? Are you missing some information? There are many things that people don't know about. There have been times when I understand that someone's upset with me, but it's because they don't know the whole story. And sometimes they're willing to listen to the whole story. It's not making excuses, it's just telling people your perspective, your understanding of something. And of course, someone else might have a whole different understanding. So it's all about communicating with yourself, it's about communicating with other people in a way that you can have a more harmonious relationship. Do you need more information? Do you need a different perception? Can you understand the other person's point of view, even if you disagree? Can you see where they're coming from? Which is one of the things that I talked about in couples relationship last week. Do you need to get some kind of a way to change how you're relating together with these other people or other person? And I could really go on and on about this. There's a lot to it, but I hope that gives you a beginning of where to start when you're feeling upset. Take care of those feelings yourself, by yourself, so that you can become more clear when you're talking to the person that you feel upset about or upset with, or who's upset with you, including yourself. So thank you very much. That's my 15 minutes, and I'll see you next week.
Nice job, Jean. Very nice. I like how you stayed right on time, too. By the way, I was picturing you with the party phone line. I can't tell you how many times the guy said, I'm going to call you. And I thought, oh my gosh, like tonight, now, in an hour. And no call, just
right.
Nothing. So that was a great presentation. I'm sorry we don't have time to chat about it, unfortunately. But well done. Lots of great content and well delivered. All right, Diane, are you ready to present your lesson?
Yes, I just want to tell her, wow, what a powerful lesson. I just went that list of feelings. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. Thank you.
You're welcome. No, thank you. All right, Diane, it's all yours. And Jean and I are going to go backstage. So I'll give you the timer as well, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Jacalyn. Everyone.
Sorry.
And I'm so excited. Can you tell? So it's all about author, hooks, and more today. Everyone has a story, and I want you to realize how we can start it. But the first thing you need to do is be in a nice quiet room where you can think, and I want you to embrace imagination, because it's with your imagination that we can make things work. The overview today, we're going to talk about the definition of a story hook, why authors use hooks at the beginning of their writing, types of hooks, and more. And more is really more about tips. Now, I talk about the definition of a story hook. A lot of people today use the word lead, but I personally enjoy hook. It makes more sense to me. But if you do hear someone say, oh, I wrote a great lead to my story, just know they're really saying, I wrote a great hook. So let's talk about the definition. In a story, the first sentence or the paragraph is your hook. It's designed to pique the reader's interest to what you want to know, or they want to know what happens next. Hence the word hook. Now, why do authors use these hooks at the beginning of their writing? I cannot say it enough. You want a hook. You want the reader to want to turn that page to see what happens next. Therefore, you want to grab their attention. So think about it. Songwriters. Think about Elvis Presley, Adele, Celine Dion, or some of your very favorites. And that, what made you like that one song? I ain't nothing but a hound dog. What? He's talking about a hound dog? Well, think about what a hound dog is. And then you're like, oh man, that's a really cool song. And some of you are like, Elvis Presley, but to me, he is the king of rock and roll. So why not talk about one of his hooks? How about that first date? You're really excited. So I'm going to share it from a woman's perspective. I was so excited that, I was going to get to go. I'm talking about high school before I'm married, obviously. You can't believe that, Johnny finally asked you out. And so you get the right dress that fits where you're going, and he picks you up, and based on his eyes, you get that wowzer. Well, you hooked him because he is excited that you took the time to look good for everything that he's prepared for that first date. Or how about the salesman? You're thinking you're just going to go in and kind of look at cars and price them. But the salesman, he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve because he does not want you to leave without a new car. Obviously, that's his job. It's the same thing about a hook or a book. Yay, it rhymes. It's that first impression. So I have two famous hooks to share with you. The Tales of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. What? Two cities, best of time, worst of times. What are the two cities? I absolutely want to turn the page. Another famous hook is how can we not talk about Snoopy? Everybody that I know loves Snoopy. Just imagine Snoopy's up there and he's in on his doghouse with his typewriter, and he always starts his stories with, "It was a dark and stormy night." And of course, you can't wait to see what is going to happen next on that dark and stormy night in Snoopy's mind. Two famous hooks. So let's talk about types of hooks. There's the surprise or exclamation. There's the emotional, a story hook, and a question. So I'm going to share with you several books that have hooks in their stories that I personally like. There's the Giant Jamboree. I'm the giant jamboree and I'm as scary as can be. I love how they do that. First of all, it's sing-songy, and all children love sing-songy books. And giants and jamboree. What? Not a jamboree, a jamboree? I certainly want to turn the page. And FYI, I'm mostly sharing with you children's books and young adults because I'm a children's author. So how about Life on Mars? With cupcakes in tow, a young astronaut is searching for life on Mars, but he finds only a lone flower. Unbeknownst to the astronaut, a Martian's been following him around the whole time. Oh, that's a surprise. What on earth is going to happen? Is the astronaut going to discover that a Martian's following him? What is that Martian going to do to him? Obviously, you want to turn the page. Surprise and exclamation. Rise, a girl's struggle for more. Written by yours truly. Seriously, Ruby Pearl, put down that book and help your sister get those chickens plucked for Sunday dinner. Ruby's mama yelled upstairs. What? Chickens plucked? Who plucks chickens nowadays? What on earth are they talking about? Certainly, I want to see what Ruby's going to do. An emotional hook. The Snack Attack. This is a fun children's book. First of all, when you think about Snack Attack, it's like, oh man, I want to have a snack. But listen to this. Cookie, Pretzel, and Cheese Doodle embark on a fun-filled adventure in the kitchen, which quickly spirals into a mission to escape snack time with a hungry monster kid. The snacks are determined to leave no crumb behind, but that's easier said than done. What? A monster kid? Am I a monster kid when I like snacks? I definitely want to know more. An emotional hook. Grant, the Jigsaw Giraffe. This is an exciting day at the city zoo. A new baby giraffe has just been born, and his name is Grant. Well, kids love animals, and it's a new baby, so of course they want to know more. A story hook. Harry the Camel by yours truly. One day, Harry sat on his favorite hill overlooking the horse tracks in Dubai.
Harry loved to watch the racehorses. He knew he could run fast, but 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 he felt he could run even faster if he didn't have that bulky old hump. What? A camel not liking their hump? What is going to happen? And he loves horses? So strange. Another story. The Purple Frog. There once was a purple frog named Hubert. He was a smart frog, but all the little green frogs picked on Hubert because he was purple. What? A purple frog? I want to know more. I bet I'm going to end up liking that purple frog. A story hook. The world's first tooth fairy ever. First of all, the title grabs you, right? Because, hey, we all love the tooth fairy. In a land far, far away was a secret world known as Tulip Hollow, where the young fairies played and flew around and had the best time. Oh, all except for one. What? A fairy not having fun? I definitely want to know more. A question hook. When I go for a walk, I look high in the sky. Why? Oh, why? That's from The Dog That Loves Blue. And kids love doggies. And why, oh, why does the doggie look high in the sky? The last one, a question hook. The Christmas stocking. It's Christmas Eve and Santa Claus has come to fill 2 stockings with toys, but there's no chimney. How will he get down? Can you help him? Well, of course, that is a great hook because you're asking the reader to help. And who doesn't want to help Santa Claus? So there's some samples of some hooks, and you want to keep these samples of hooks like I do. I have them in where I write samples of the hooks right in front of me on the wall, so that when I get in my embrace imagination mode and I want to think about how I want the story to start, I'll glance at surprise. And I wrote these up, and you're welcome to have these. Surprise. You don't like frog leg soup? Emotional. Mabel was very sad when she heard her best friend's puppy died. A story hook. The trail was closed to the lake, and the ground was muddy from the rainstorm the night before. Johnny lost his balance and slipped into the lake, and Johnny can't swim. Definitely, that story makes you want to know more. Question. Why does your bird have spots? And by having this in front of you for your tips will help you again get into that mode and take you into the world of imagination and hopefully for your stories. Some more tips. Now, you don't have to write the perfect hook before you continue your story. Just write your story, and then you can go back and look at that first sentence or the first paragraph, and if you feel you need to write it, you can do so. One of the things I like to do is go to a school where I have a friend that might be teaching and read to the kiddos and let them tell me what they think. And based on their ideas, I will go back and do some rewrites, and if time allows, go and share it with the kids. And if they give you thumbs up, you definitely have a great story on your hands. One of the things you wanted to ask is make sure that you have the right questions in your mind. Who is the story for, and what is the purpose of your story? That's so important, because if you can answer those 2, then your story is going to follow correctly and be for the right people, for your audience. Writing a great hook does not mean a bestseller. It'll be the overall quality of the book. So again, don't sit there and go, is this a good hook? Is this a good hook? Oh my gosh, I have to redo it. I have to redo it. Remember, I said, write your story and then go back. And it's the quality of the overall book that makes it where everybody wants to read it. You don't want to write a story for fame and money. And of course, we all want to sell our books. But if your whole intent is, oh, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to become famous, you're not going to end up with a good story, most likely. So make sure you write a story because you have a desire to tell that story. You feel like everybody needs to know the story and what they can learn from it. Again, going back to what is the purpose? So hooks and more was today's lesson. And I want you to have happy writing and to remember, embrace imagination. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
That was great, Diane.
Thank you.
I love the animation.
I get carried away. I love reading the stories.
I wish I knew you when I was a pediatric nurse. I would have actually brought you into the playroom and you could have told stories.
Well, it's funny that you said that. I used to volunteer at Brackenridge Children's Hospital in Austin and put on plays and shows and sang and read to the kids. So.
You're so good, Diane. So good. I could see you doing musical theater. So many things. You're really talented. So thank you for that. I loved how you just, you picked out the one thing for the hook, like the purple frog, and then from Zane's book, The Tooth Fairy. Just really very clever. I would want to keep reading as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Nice job, both of you. I really appreciate it. I wish we had more time, but it's already time to go. So we've got the Pet Psychic Show coming up right after this. So I'm going to spotlight you. And Diane, since you're up top, what's the best way to reach you and who should contact you?
Thank you again, Dr. Jacalyn, for having me. It's always an honor. Everyone, you may contact me at my website. That's the easiest, DiannFloydBoehm.com. DiannFloydBoehm.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. And by the way, you have you're going to be signing books, aren't you? Coming up in September.
Yes, I'm so excited. I just found out yesterday I've been invited to come to Kroger in LaPorte, Texas, and sign books for 4 days.
Wow, that's wonderful. We wish you all the best with that. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Jean Keegan Daly, what's the best way for people to reach you and who should contact you?
Well, first of all, congratulations, Diane, and congratulations to you, Dr. Jacalyn, as I remember that you had your 100th show yesterday in such a short time. That's wonderful. So for me, and thank you for having me on this show. I'm really enjoying this opportunity. For me, people can reach me at J, the letter J, Life Spirit. That's JLIFESPIRIT at Comcast.net. And I do not have a website right now. I am going to have one soon because I'll be getting another certification in September, in a few weeks. So I'll be having a website probably by the end of September, beginning of October. Well, I'll let you know then where you can reach me. If you contact me, and this is for anyone, I do many, many things, and I would love to hear from anybody who's interested in what I have to offer, how I can help you. That's my biggest thing, to help people. And just put in the subject line that what you're asking a question or you want to contact me from the show. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jean. Appreciate it. Thank you both. We are just going to head out now and say goodbye right now. And please join us momentarily in less than 15 minutes for presenting Pet Psychic Amina. And our guest is Catherine Smith, and she's joining us from the UK. And she's going to talk about all things related to pets. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye.